So the Marvel Avengers video game is coming out on September 4th, but players who have pre-ordered the game on PlayStation are getting the opportunity to play the game early, very soon. Today I want to talk about some of the confusion around the pre-order beta, what you need to know to make sure you're playing as soon as possible, and what details we have about the beta going in.
Stars and Stripes!
Hello and welcome to another carrotscraps video, and by another I mean the 19th. So, if you pre-ordered the game on PlayStation 4, the beta will begin for you on August 7th and go until August 9th. If you pre-ordered the game on Xbox or on PC, you'll be able to play on August 14th in addition to the other players who pre-ordered on PlayStation. Lastly, the open beta on all platforms will begin on August 21st, again not specifying when it would end. Now, from what I understand, if you pre-ordered the game digitally, it seems you will automatically be able to jump into the beta depending on what console you have and when your beta would start, so you have nothing to worry about there. However, it seems unclear how those who have physically ordered the game will be able to play the beta early. From what little I could find online, some people on Reddit have mentioned that according to Best Buy support, they would receive an additional code for the beta on the 7th, which is the day that the beta starts for PS4 users. I pre-ordered the deluxe version of the game, which promised that I would get 72 hours of early access. However, by pre-ordering the game on PS4, I should also be eligible for the pre-beta. But I have no way of knowing for sure whether I'm going to be playing that beta on August 7th. So I checked the FAQ on the Square Enix website, and they told me to contact the distributor who sold me the game. And when I called them, unsurprisingly, they didn't know exactly what I was talking about. Ultimately, Amazon told me that I needed to contact Square Enix to sort this out, even though I was told to go talk to them. I will admit the outcome of this phone call definitely makes me more worried that I won't be able to play the beta on August 7th, but I do have faith that I still might receive an email on the 7th with the code for the game. The only reason I believe this is because other people who have contacted Best Buy said that that's the answer that they were given. Either way, I'm still going to try and contact Square Enix to try and find out if I'm eligible for the August 7th beta and how I can get access to it if I am. All in all, it was a pretty disappointing experience, and I got about as much information as I thought I was going to get, which is nothing. Like I said earlier, I'm assuming and trusting that I'm going to be sent a code for the beta on the 7th, but if you have any doubts at all, definitely contact whoever sold you the game and try to ask questions to find this out. Now let's talk about the gameplay discussed in the War Table. The full beta will have over 20 combined single-player and co-op missions. The missions in the Avengers game will be accessed at the War Table, a holographic computer deck. At this War Table, you will be able to play one of several mission types: hero missions, war room missions, war zone missions, and drop zone missions. I'm actually not sure if all of these can be considered missions, but for sake of simplicity, let's just go with it. The first mission that beta players will start with is the Golden Gate Bridge demo, which is called the start of what will eventually be the A-Day disaster. This mission, or demo as they called it, will be 25 minutes long and is explained as a great introduction to the game. This sequence definitely looks really fantastic and looks like it covers a lot, going from the collapse of the bridge to a boss battle with the supervillain Taskmaster at the end. Though the Golden Gate Bridge demo looks impressive, some fans are a little frustrated that this mission is going to be part of the beta. Those disgruntled mention that because gameplay from this part of the game has been predominantly the footage available for the majority of the marketing, that they would want something different to play. It's possible that since the gameplay of this mission has been available online for so long, that there might not be much to surprise players, at least at the start of the beta. I can definitely understand the frustration, but I still think the mission will be a very different experience when playing it rather than just watching it. In addition, since this was the first footage we saw of the game, and now is the first gameplay we'll be engaging with, I think it's possible that this is the most polished part of the game so far. All of that being said, those with beta access are going to be able to play way more than just the Golden Gate Bridge demo, like hero missions. Hero missions seem like main story missions led by a specific playable character from what I can tell. The first hero mission sees Hulk and Kamala Khan on the trail of the Olympia Archive, the last known location of Jarvis. They don't make it clear if the location changes and character introductions mentioned are all from the same hero mission or multiple ones, but either way, it seems like you'll have multiple hero missions to play. It's also mentioned that the hero missions will contain Kamala's quest to reunite the Avengers, and potentially will contain the bulk of the story. This leaves me wondering if the Golden Gate Bridge demo can be considered a hero mission. Also, from the wording of the July Warzone video, it's possible you might have to complete all of the single-player hero missions before moving on to the rest of the beta missions, and the freedom to choose your own character. Moving on, the next mission type is harm room missions. A quick note, they don't refer to the harm room as missions, more challenges, and I'm not sure if you can access the harm room from the war table. You might not. Anyway, HARM stands for Holographic Augmented Reality Machine, and HARM Room gameplay will be focused on completing specific challenges or fighting waves of enemies. From the way it was talked about in the War Table video, it seemed that HARM Room challenges available in the beta might be similar to a tutorial. You can play in the HARM Room solo, with AI companions, or with other players. Apparently, you'll unlock 3 other harm room challenges after you play the initial introduction harm room. Lastly, the special nameplate you earn from completing the beta is mentioned in this section of the video. So while I think it's unlikely, it is possible that the harm room is specifically where you earn that nameplate. Let's move on to Warzone missions. There will be 5 Warzone missions to play in the beta. They mention you can play these missions online after playing in the harm room, which seems to confirm you can play with other beta players online. You'll also be able to fight against human and robotic NPCs, and gear, resources, and collectible comics will be your reward for playing these missions. Drop zone missions can apparently span anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours, though I doubt the beta drop zones will be that long. These are kind of pitched like simple missions that are more combat focused. I have a feeling these missions might be similar to what other games would call a dungeon scenario. Now let's talk about progression in the beta. The full Avengers game will have a pretty extensive skill tree to unlock for each character, but in the beta, players will be getting an abridged version of this progression system. Only one of the 3 potential skill pages will be available for players to explore during the beta. The full game will have 6 playable heroes at launch, with more coming later, but the beta will allow you to play as 4 of the heroes from the base game. These heroes are Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, and Kamala Khan. It seems you can change between these characters before and after missions, and that your progression with those characters will be utilized for AI companions when you use them. Though the War Table video mentioned online multiplayer, I feel like it's still unclear how much of the game you'll be able to play online during the beta, but I have to imagine this is a really good opportunity for developers to test the limits of their game. So hopefully all of the missions that you can play online in the full game, you'll be able to play online in the beta game. Then there are a couple rewards that come with playing and completing the beta. As I mentioned earlier, for completing the beta, you will receive an exclusive nameplate that will carry over into your main game. While I speculated this reward might be tied to the harm room progression, I doubt that will actually be the case. It's also important to note that while, again, this is never stated, I think it's safe to assume no game progression will be carried over to the full game, except for rewards like the nameplate. I do wonder if progression will be saved between multiple beta dates, though. However, the exclusive nameplate isn't the only reward for completing the beta. Oddly enough, it seems players will earn in-game cosmetics for the game Fortnite for completing the Avengers beta, the Hulk Smasher and Hulk Buster pickaxe skins. I have to admit, this edition definitely made me scratch my head. Why incentivize people to play your game by giving them rewards in a different game? It's definitely odd, but if you look at Marvel and Disney's relationship with Fortnite, it begins to make a little more sense. Not only have several Marvel characters like Thanos, Deadpool, and Captain America been available to play in Fortnite, but Star Wars premiered footage in Fortnite to promote the rise of Skywalker. So even if this seems random, it's actually a pattern to see these kinds of collaborations between Disney and Fortnite. In July's War Table, they emphasized that diversity in gameplay and scenery was something that they wanted to showcase, and it definitely seems like they're going to deliver on that promise. Hopefully these various beta tests will work out, and any potential embarrassing bugs the game might have currently can be fixed early. But so far the game looks really fun, with many places it can go in future updates. Though some details about how to get your beta access are still a little unclear, I have a feeling that most concerns shouldn't be worried about. At worst, those who pre-ordered the game physically like me will be forced to wait a little longer while they download the game. I guess that's just the curse of buying physical games in 2020. As for me, I'm way more excited to play the game since these War Table streams started, and I'd like to start covering news and details on the game moving forward on my channel. I'm actually a huge Marvel Comics fan, with over 13,000 comics in my collection, so I have a lot to say about the game. I'm working on several other videos for the game moving forward, so for whatever reason you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe for more. I'm still having some equipment problems, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream the game when the beta comes out, but if you want to watch me play video games live, check me out on Twitch at carrotscraps, and Twitter and Instagram also at carrotscraps. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. I like Spider-Man. Feedback. Feedback.